This is the first video on adjective clauses, so let's just start with the basics. As you know, adjectives modify nouns. They give us more information about nouns. Well, adjective clauses also modify nouns, but in addition to that, they also modify independent clauses. And then lastly, an adjective clause, like all other clauses, has a subject and a verb. Well, let's go ahead and start looking at adjective clauses. Let's look at these three examples first. Number one, we have the man who we met yesterday is a poet. And number two, we have Edinburgh, which is located in eastern Scotland, is the birthplace of Arthur Conan Doyle. And at number three, we have the students handed in the homework on time, which pleased the teacher. And all of the adjective clauses you just see have a relative pronoun and a verb. For instance, we have who, we have which, and we have which again in number three. And the relative pronouns to remember are who, that, which, and where. And we'll look at a couple of these more in more detail later. Let's go to the next slide. Let's look at restricted clauses first. Now, you may know what the word restricted means. It means you can't go anywhere. So when you were young and restricted to your bedroom, it means you had to stay in your bedroom. You couldn't go anywhere. Well, the meaning also relates to these adjective clauses. In number one, we have the man who we met yesterday as a poet. What you see in the orange section here is the adjective clause, who we met yesterday. That is your adjective clause. We have in this example, we have who is the subject of the adjective clause. We is actually it's the who is the object of the adjective clause. We is the subject of the adjective clause, and met is our verb. So we met who, but we met the man. So who relates, of course, to the man in the sentence, and it is the object in the adjective clause itself. This type of clause, though, you notice it has no commas. That is because we are talking about a noun here, the man, and we don't know any information about this person. We don't know who it is. It's the first time we've mentioned this person. The only way we have to have additional helpful information is to have this information in the adjective clause. So you might say the man who we met yesterday is this big subject, and is simply our verb, and a poet is our object. But this kind of clause, the kind that you can't take away or take out of a sentence, is called a restricted adjective clause. Well, if we did take it out, we would have a sentence like 1a right here. The man is a poet. Well, this is a sentence, but now we don't know the man that we are referring to. So you might ask, well, what man? Who are we talking about? Oh, the man who we met yesterday. Now that would make things much clearer to the person. So restricted adjective clauses or restrictive adjective clauses are adjective clauses that need to be in the sentence in order for the sentence to maintain its complete sense and for you to really know the subject you're talking about or the noun that you're referring to. If we look at this in a slightly longer example, we have this. A man who was found walking on Interstate 66 yesterday with his dog was yelling at police officers. The man, who was about 30 years old, was taken to police headquarters in Prince William County. Well, what we have here is an example of a restricted clause first, in the orange here. Even though it's very long, it's still an adjective clause, because we don't know who the man is. But in the second sentence, we do know who this man is. And we'll talk more about this in the next video.